Hi there, this is Steven with Karma Astrology, and I was just doing this live stream to talk about the daily update of the moon as it moves through the nakshatras around the zodiac. For those of you who don't know, the nakshatras are the 27 Indian constellations that make up the zodiac, and in India, in traditional Hindu or Vedic astrology, we use the sidereal zodiac, so that's the star-oriented zodiac as opposed to the zodiac that most people in the West or Europe and the United States, uh, the zodiac that we use over here is typically the tropical zodiac, which is actually the seasonal zodiac. But in Vedic astrology, we use the sidereal zodiac instead. So there's also nakshatras, or Indian constellations, or asterisms, parts of the sky where the planets travel through as they make their way around the zodiac, that we study, what happens when the moon is in each of these asterisms or other planets. And just as we do with the 12 different signs, we have 27 different nakshatras. So today, the moon is in the nakshatra of Swati. Now, Swati is a really interesting nakshatra. It's basically a very airy nakshatra. It's in the middle of the sign Libra, pretty much square in the middle of it. And Libra, as you might know, is an air sign. It's ruled by Venus, so it has this sort of fairness to it. Our Libra is the sign of the balancing scales, so it deals with our ability to find things that respect us and find ways to behave and act that respect other people. And we kind of expect this sort of respect from civilized society, and when with our interactions in order to have productive interactions with other people. And that kind of brings me to the whole idea of this being a very um, I guess financially savvy nakshatra, or Libra as a sign. It's a very intelligent sign. Deals with air is a very mental element, so it deals with how we speak and how we communicate. And so you'll find that you're paying more attention to how you speak today, and you probably are a little more wise in how you, which unlike me right now, but on in your word selection, you're trying to find the right words. It's a little bit easier unless you're me right now. Anyways, so Swati is known as the independent one, and that's because it's symbolized actually by a sprout that's in blowing in the wind, or a single blade of grass that's blowing in the wind, and that windiness adds on the theme of air and that mental element and all the movement that's involved in this sign. But the sprout is really interesting because it's rooted firmly in the ground. So there's an element of needing to ground that's very important on days like today, where we need to make sure that we're grounded, make sure that we're getting enough nutrients, enough water, enough of the more earthy and watery elements that the air doesn't always provide us with. So when we're, more still, we're able to think more clearly and express ourselves a little bit better. And that in that way, we can grow as the sprout or as the grass does, and kind of, have our strength and integrity and the ability to kind of be flexible and be kind of assertive in the ways that we need to and stand up independently. There's this, as I said, it means the independent one. And the constellation, actually, or the star that it's associated with, the actual nakshatra, is called Arcturus. And Arcturus, if those of you, I don't know if you know, but some of you might be into uh, interdimensionals and extraterrestrials and all sorts of that fun, world of existence. And Arcturians are pretty big in that realm, so you might want to check out the Arcturians. They're known as wisdom keepers and kind of benevolent beings who wish to make everyone's lives a little more easy and to teach people. There's a lot of education and teaching that goes on in this nakshatra. So, with all that air, we're able to process information a lot more quickly, and we're able to, kind of explore all these different ideas and thoughts that come into our consciousness, and that allows us to grow and evolve and kind of grow like that sprout does, while um, being flexible enough to learn about many different subjects and in order to find an all-around well-rounded perspective. And that kind of brings me to the next point, is that today is about, you know, going back to Libra. Swati is really kind of the core of Libra, being in the middle. And that's all about social justice in a lot of ways. So when we have experiences in our lives and we see times in which we're treated with respect and disrespect, and vice versa when we give respect and disrespect to other people, those are times in which we kind of reflect upon the outcomes of our actions and the actions of others, and what felt good and what didn't, and what felt made us feel happy or not so much happy, not so happy. And so when we're able to reflect on all of those, then we can develop a more balanced perspective that allows us to be fair and just and well-rounded in whatever social situations in particular um, that come into our lives. So this nakshatra is actually associated with people, excuse me, who are who may be politicians, wise people. It's associated with priests and priestesses. The deity or the god of Swati is Vayu, and Vayu is the god of wind and the father of Hanuman. So Vayu kind of takes on these qualities of integrity, loyalty, strength, and courage, like Hanuman has, and the ability to, kind of stand tall and grow into this plant from the sprout. And an interesting thing about Swati is that things that don't work out in the beginning tend to work out later in life or towards the end. So maybe in the later parts of today, you'll see that your efforts from earlier are getting rewarded. So there's definitely this almost like an element of hope there, and yeah, it's a really kind of pleasant nakshatra that where most people should be feeling like making everyone's lives better and happy, and feeling more respected and giving more respect to other people in return. So there's a lot of hopefully benevolent energy out there in your life. And yeah, otherwise, when I look at the chart, here, let me show you actually what it looks like in the sky. Gotta just switch screens here. Oh no, did it not work? Ah, well. Perhaps it didn't work. Oh, okay. Well, I guess my Streamlabs is acting a little funky. I'm not able to switch it back to the window that I want, and this is now the background window. So it was a nice forecast. I hope you have a great day. Stay pleasant out there, be friendly, and I'm sure you'll get along just fine.